let's suppose I am a CEO of a company and I want to know that today's revenue of my company is 1 crore. I want to know how can I get the revenue of 10 crores in next 6 months. I don't have the data for next 6 months, obviously. I have the data for previous years and this year. Okay. So this particular task, I need a data analyst who can apply the analytical tools, any type of analytical tools, apply some statistics, and give me some sentences or statements that can help me go from 1 crore to 10 crores in next 6 months. So what steps should I take on those 6 months, depending upon my previous data for how many people were in my company, so that we grow from 0 to 1 crore. Now, how many people more I have to add in my company, or what type of human resource department I need, what type of what level of year of experience I need in people who are coming and joining the company. So depending upon these factors, I want a data analyst to work and give me some statements. I don't obviously I have to make the decisions. So to make the decision, I don't need charts and graphs. I need statements. Okay, that's what us data analysts do. It analyzes the data, analyze the data, and bring some charts and graphs, and come to a conclusion from them. Okay, so what type of actions we have to take to go where we want to go. Okay, so this is what a data analyst do. Analysis positions are different in different domains. For example, you have heard of business analysts, you have heard of research analysts, marketers, and so many different fields. As humans, we already have this pattern recognition thing. So if somebody came into your, like, if somebody is working with you, or your teammate, or your colleague, or your classmates, you just in seconds you just understand what type of pattern of dress he or she wears. So if I'm wearing t-shirts every day and suddenly one day I came with a shirt on, you just recognize the pattern immediately. That's how human works. Okay, so we by default understand the patterns. Now we have to do the same thing into a data from a data. Okay, and bring insights from it. That's what a data analyst do. Okay, so in every domain, if you are a research analyst or any type of analyst, you need some data. You have to be a data analyst to become any of those. Okay, so if you are a business analyst, you need some analysis on data to get insights and make some statements to go towards business problems and solve accordingly, and give response to the problem depending upon the data or the insights you have extracted from your data. So I created a roadmap for this. You can go through this particular roadmap. So it is a profile and portfolio building roadmap. So it's kind of you have to, if you don't know about data analysis, so you can start with different topics and focus on working on different type of data in different domains. It is very important because as you gain experience of working with different type of data, you're going to end up in a proper company. Okay, so in the company perspective, if I'm hiring a data analyst, I need someone who is using or working in the same domain, even though he's a fresher or she's a fresher. Okay, so if I'm working in a finance domain, I want people who can understand the finance terminologies or domain expertise. Okay, so you have to know some domain experience, or you have to build projects in a particular domain. This is how you get an entry in the industry. Okay, so you don't have to be a generalized expert. For example, you have worked on different type of domains, for example, healthcare, in finance, in education. But as a CEO or as a recruiter, I don't want that. I want a specialized person to do the job. I don't want a generalized person to enter the company as a fresher or some years of experience. Okay, so I want someone to have a specialized knowledge for a domain. Okay, so you have to build the project accordingly. In this particular roadmap, I created this into 12 different chapters. These chapters can be covered in 8 weeks. So you need 2 months max to cover all the topics. So I started with mentioning some of what a data analyst do. I explained a little bit about this. So if you open this, you will get what a data analyst generally do in an organization. Okay, so you go through these and you understand what a data analyst exactly do. It analyzes the data and give extract insights and give his team lead or the CEO some sentences. On the basis of those statements, CEO can make a decision because your statement came from the analysis you did on the data. Okay, so you have to collect the data and analyze it. You have to generate reports using visualizations and different tools you can use in that. So this is what data analysts do generally. Okay, so it can be changed according to the domain, as I mentioned earlier, finance, healthcare, because in different domains, different type of parameters come into the picture, and because of that you have to focus on that particular part as well. But some common things are everywhere as a data analyst. Okay, these are some common questions people generally ask. So what skills a data analyst should have? So I included some important skills like analytical skills. As a human being, I already mentioned that human being already have some kind of analysis analytical skills to judge a pattern in our environment. You have to know some statistical knowledge, because if you work on data, everything is stats. Okay, so we don't want the general analysis. We want to go inside it a little bit. So for that, we should know the statistical knowledge. Okay, so these are some key points like data visualization, how to manage a database. Different type of databases are available. We'll go into this a little bit more. So these are some common questions. You can just go here and work on this. This is the most important question: how much a data analyst get paid? So if I talk about India, the average package is around 3.54 LPA. Okay, and it goes from depending upon how many projects you have worked on. If you are a fresher, if you are an experienced professional, it go around 6.5 and above average package. Okay, so this is from the US data. So if you are an Indian, so you already know. Okay, so these are some common questions. You can go through these and answered all of them. Okay, so these are some important sections I included in this roadmap. So it's a Notion template. You can duplicate this particular template and add your own thoughts to it in your own part, in your own words, and maintain the whole log depending upon how you are working on this. So for a data analyst profile, there are 12 sections. So I mentioned 12 different chapters here. So you consider all of them as chapters. So in chapter 1, we start with programming. Okay, so for the week 1, we only focuses on programming. Okay, so programming, I preferred Python here. So there are all other different languages, but if you are starting, Python is the best for everything. So it is already have so many libraries available. It has a good big developer community. So if you're stuck somewhere, you can easily get the answer. So this is how you choose a language. So you have to go for how big the community is. If you're stuck somewhere, you have to get the answer easily. So as Python is a huge community of developers, so if you're stuck somewhere, you will get the answer. So if you open this, you will see some of the topics, subtopics for this particular chapter. So there's a big roadmap for Python. So if you are solely working on Python, you at least need 30 sessions or at least need in-depth understanding to build logics. Okay, but as a data analyst, if you focus on these topics, you just cover almost everything. So for your analysis terms, because after learning these basics, you will move forward with Numpy and Pandas. So for the data analysis part, so this is to build a logic, and if you go inside any of those, you will get the further topics what you have to cover. Okay, so I mentioned everything in detail. So if you want to work in depth and have time for working on Python, so you can go to check on my detailed roadmap. If you open this, you will get 8 different chapters for it. It is an in-depth roadmap. You can check it out. Okay, so I also making videos for each of them and each of the topics. So there will be around more than 100 videos for us. Okay, so this is the first chapter you have to cover as a programming Python programming. So to build logic, because most of the time if you are using a tool, and tools come with a limitation, but programming do not have any limitation depending upon real world situations. So if you are working on any real world problem, and tool is a limitation, comes with a limitation. For example, if you are working on Excel, for example, so Excel do not process huge amount of data. You need some kind of programming languages for it. You cannot run it on big data. Okay, so if there is a data is huge, you cannot work on this on Excel. Generally is for basic analysis kind of stuff. I personally work on different big data in big data terms. So that's why we need some programming languages like Python, which is very powerful, and we can use different tools to analysis and apply different analysis techniques on data. Okay, so Python, you can use programming language for this, Python programming, and it is very helpful when we work on logics and building logics depending upon real world situations. Okay, so this is my first week's chapter, that is chapter 1. The second chapter is chapter 2, that is data analysis with Python. As we already have Python expertise, we can move forward with Numpy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. These are very important libraries available in Python. So when you start with Numpy is numeric Python. Okay, so you can apply different numerical operations using Python language. Okay, so you can move forward with this and understand how you can apply different two-dimensional operations or working with two-dimensional data very easily. Generally in Python we use lists. So list comes with take much memory as compared to arrays. So Numpy work on arrays. So we can work on arrays and for different data. For example, if you are working on two-dimensional data or you are working on image data. So image is nothing but a matrix of numbers. So that's it. So you can use Numpy, and many different libraries depend on Numpy. Okay, so Numpy is kind of a dependency for different libraries like Pandas. Okay, so you can move further and focus on Pandas. So Pandas is just used for data analysis. So as I said, you can apply different type of operations using Pandas, like SQL operations, what type of queries we write in SQL, and every type of logic you can build. You can build anything around data using Python or Pandas. Okay, so this is how you work on Pandas. If you open this, you will get different analysis part and work with different data sets. I will include all the files. You can find these files on my GitHub profile, and if you need code, everything is available for free. Okay, so Next part is data visualization. So data visualization, we can use Power BI and Tableau. But before going towards a tool, let's understand how we can use programming language that has no limitation, and because of those non-limitation thing, we can use it anywhere. Okay, so we can build logics and build some functions and codes to apply in our real life problem statements, and just move forward with building different visualizations, graphs and charts to understand data better. Okay, so these are some topics that can be covered in the second week. Okay, or this is our chapter 2, and let's move forward to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is statistical analysis. So statistics is very important. So statistics gives us two tools. One is descriptive statistics, the other one is inferential statistics, so or inference. Okay, so descriptive statistics focus on general analysis of data. General analysis, that means measure of central tendencies like mean, median, mode, interquartile range, percentage, percentile. So these type of parameters you should know to understand a data in general terms. But if you want to step inside and apply some assumptions, some hypotheses, building different models, you can use inferential statistics. For that particular part, you have to create some assumptions about data and apply different statistics. You can we call this statistics like t-test, z-test. You can use different type of chi-square test, not different type of chi-square test you can apply. Okay, so different type of models can be used for statistical analysis. If you go inside this, you will get some details about it. So in descriptive statistics, we focus on these, and in inferential, we focus on these. Okay, so ANOVA, chi-square test, and different type of tests. Okay, so these are some topics we should cover in statistics. These are very important. When we understand each of them in terms of data, we easily understand that data is telling something else. Okay, so it is not a general analysis of calculating mean or average of values, but go inside it and understand there's something else in data. Okay, this can be calculated by some different parameters. If you are calculating mean, median, okay, and want to know a little bit more, so you go forward with interquartile range and understand that different type of parameters or formulas we can use to get a better understanding of a deeper data set, or a data set in a deeper way. You cannot just high level calculate high level parameters by using descriptive statistics. You can go inside a little bit. Okay, this is our fifth part. Sixth section was I didn't included this. I didn't listed the projects here, but projects represent different type of data sets. As a data analyst, if you are starting in the domain, make sure you at least work with 50 different data sets. Why 50? Because it's kind of a practice. So if you are working in programming, you should solve some 50 to 100 questions for building your logic every day. Not 50 every day, but yeah, if you solve one question every day, there's a growth you can see in your logic building. Same as with data. If you work on different type of data sets every day, you can get better into it. Okay, so you can move forward and work with this particular part. I will list the data sets here. Okay, so you can work on those 50 data sets. Okay, let's move forward, and the chapter 4 is SQL. Okay, so now SQL is very important. How it is important? Because most of the companies currently working or working for a long time with relational databases. So what is relational? So it's kind of showing every data set are stored in rows and columns. So if the data set is stored in rows and columns, you have some kind of management tool to manage or manipulate that data. You have to apply CRUD operations, create, read, update, delete. You need different type of operation to get data, store data, update it, delete some things. Okay, so relational databases, every company use relational database. Like in general, if I talk about MNCs and enterprise level companies, most of them use relational database, just like storing data in rows and columns. Okay, to apply and manipulate those particular rows and columns, we use SQL, structured query language. Structured query language is most important. If you are hired as a data analyst, if I hire you as a data analyst, I will give you the database. I want you to extract information, extract different type of data, and apply your analysis. To extract those data, you have to know the SQL part, because my database is relational. So you have to apply SQL queries on it. Okay, SQL queries are also simple. If you work on it, you will get better on those SQL part. If you open this, you will get different topics that you should know. Okay, so again, this is not in-depth roadmap, because we are covering everything in 8 weeks. Okay, so on this particular week, you should focus on these 6 topics. These are very important. If you know these, you can move forward with some advanced part as well. Okay, so you can start with modifying different tables, altering tables, building different schemas for different tables, retrieving data, apply CRUD operations. Okay, so you can apply different aggregating functions. So you can build, and most important, joins. So these type of topics you should know as a data analyst for extracting different data sets or extracting different data from your relational databases. Okay, so SQL is very important for this. This is the chapter 4 topic. Okay, chapter 5th is storytelling. So now storytelling is a concept, not a concept. It's just like, if I'm giving you a data set, you have to give me some statements, or give me some statement in the form of stories, so I can better understand what my data is trying to say. Okay, we can use Tableau or Power BI. So for this, you can start with Power BI and you can choose any of the tool. You can choose Power BI or Tableau. I will prefer Power BI for beginners, because it is very easy as compared to Tableau. Also, Tableau comes with you will get 1 year of Tableau for free as a student, so you can get that. But Power BI, you can get it for free. Okay, so for storytelling, you should focus on Power BI first. So with the help of these tools, you can visualize different type of data sets, so that after applying some techniques and using this tool, those graphs and charts are better at visualizing data. So all the things that you can not generate using Matplotlib and Seaborn, you can do this using Power BI or Tableau, just to drag and drop values, and it will create different visualizations for you. You can build dashboards that are live dashboards. When the data will change, the dashboard will change, and like that. So you can use this for telling a story and getting insight from data. Okay, so let's move forward with chapter 6, that are business problems. Now, business problems are also important. If you're working in a data domain, business problems are very important. How? Because every data, whatever the data you are analyzing, it is coming from some business perspective, or it is coming from a business domain. So if you don't understand the business part of your problem statement, it doesn't make any sense to work on that. Okay, so business acumen here is very, very important. How this is important? So we focus on different case studies and different business problems which generate different type of data, and because of the data set we focus on different business terminologies and how my analysis will integrate and help in business. As I gave you an example in the starting, that if I want my revenue go from 1 crore to 10 crore in the next 6 months, so what type of business actions I should take to go from 1 crore to 10 crores. So this is how business acumen is very important. So this particular section focuses on only working with different business problems. So business problems include a different type of case studies in already existing problems. So it can be any problem depending upon data sets. I have to cluster different customers into different segments so that I judge before the customer will be a high class customer, high paying customer or not. So these type of business problems we are focusing on. I will mention everything inside this so you can work on them. Next part is chapter 7, that is predictive analytics. Now predictive analytics comes with some common machine learning algorithms. So we don't have to focus on all the machine learning algorithms because we are not machine learning engineers, but we know how machine learning works. So we have to understand those and work on maximum 3, actually 2 to 3 algorithms. First 2 algorithms are linear regression and logistic regression. We can include clustering also here, but to understand machine learning on a starting level, we can focus on these 2 particular algorithms. These are amazing algorithms. We can use those algorithms to apply in different data sets to predict something. Okay, so we have to build some predictive models. These are some important topics to focus on while we working on predictive analytics. Okay, so I have to predict something depending upon my data. So this is what predictive analytics is. So we are going to use these algorithms to work on predictive analytics. Okay, now the last part is forecasting and case studies. So I included 2 parts here. So first is business case studies. We work on already existing businesses, and we also work on time series analysis. Okay, so we just forecast and work on different parameters like ARIMA model, autocorrelation, seasonality, okay, stationarity. Okay, so these type of topics we are going to cover in time series analysis. So these are very important while forecasting some of the values or some of the problem statements. In business case studies, we work on already existing businesses, and this is how we complete our analysis or data analyst learning in 8 weeks. Okay, so these are some topics. You can start with Python for beginners. This is my YouTube playlist. You can start with there. If you are a beginner, you can go to my GitHub profile for understanding how to build your GitHub profile. This is my newsletter. You can subscribe on LinkedIn. I'm starting the live batch. You can join the batch here, join the community group here, and you can book the seat here. Okay, so you can get all the details. I'm covering all the topics in 8 weeks. Okay, so that's it. So this is the roadmap for data analysts. So you can learn this and build projects. Okay, so projects are very important in this. So just focus on this, and we'll meet in the next video. Okay, bye bye.